Welcome to Amazing Fun Facts, the channel where your brain gets a daily dose of wow. What is the best gift you can receive? A birthday present? A Christmas surprise? Or maybe a lovely wedding gift? But what if you could get all of these in one go? Would you want it? Well, a watch might just be able to grant you this wish. In this video, we'll show you 10 amazing fun facts about clocks that will make you appreciate yours much more. And don't forget to stick around until the end of the video, because the last fact will blow your mind. The first mechanical clocks had no hands. The invention of the clock was a monumental moment in the history of mankind. Before clocks, people relied on the sun, the stars, or even church bells to tell the time. But once the mechanical clock was invented, people could finally measure the time with greater accuracy and ease. However, the first mechanical clocks didn't have the familiar hands we're used to seeing today. Instead, they rang bells at set times to signal important events, such as the start of a work shift or the time for prayer. It wasn't until later that someone came up with the idea of using hands to indicate the time more subtly. These early clocks are now antique pieces, each telling a unique story of its time. If you ever get the chance to see one, you should definitely take it. You'll be holding a piece of history in your hands. Atomic clocks are so precise, they lose just 1 second every 100 million years. Atomic clocks are incredibly advanced timekeeping devices that rely on the vibrations of atoms to keep perfect time. Because of their high precision, atomic clocks are used in a wide range of applications, from GPS and satellite communications to scientific research requiring accurate time measurements. But what makes them so special? Well, atomic clocks are the most accurate timekeepers ever invented. An atomic clock loses only 1 second every 100 million years. To put that into perspective, if you were to divide 1 second by 100 million years, you would get an incredible measurement of 10 to the negative 8th power seconds per year. This means that atomic clocks are nearly 10 billion times more accurate than traditional quartz wristwatches, which are already quite precise themselves. With this level of accuracy, atomic clocks are an essential part of our modern world. The world's largest cuckoo clock is in Germany. If you've ever seen a cuckoo clock, you know they can be quite charming with their intricate carvings and cheerful bird-themed movements. But did you know that there's a Guinness World Record holder for the largest cuckoo clock? Standing an impressive 15.5 meters tall, the Triberg clock, located in the Black Forest town of Triberg, Germany, holds the title of the world's largest cuckoo clock. Not only does it accurately tell the time, but it also features a life-sized cuckoo bird that pops out on the hour to delight onlookers. The cuckoo clock is not just a tourist attraction, but a testament to the craftsmanship and creativity of German clockmakers. Ancient Egyptians invented the first clocks using shadows. While we often associate modern technological advancements with the recent past, it's easy to forget that many groundbreaking inventions have roots that stretch back thousands of years. The ancient Egyptians were responsible for inventing some of the earliest known clocks, which they used to tell the time by measuring the shadow cast by the sun. By observing the angle of the shadow, they were able to determine the approximate time of day. This simple yet effective method allowed them to keep track of time without the need for complex machinery or technology. Showcasing their ingenuity and problem-solving skills, the Egyptian sundial was a remarkably accurate device, considering its rudimentary construction, and it paved the way for future timekeeping inventions. Big Ben isn't the clock, it's the bell. Big Ben is a world-renowned landmark and a symbol of London. However, many people mistakenly believe that Big Ben refers to the clock tower or the clock itself. In reality, Big Ben is the nickname of the Great Bell within the Elizabeth Tower, formerly known as the Clock Tower. The bell is named after Sir Benjamin Hall, who was the first British Prime Minister to live at number 10 Downing Street. While the bell is undoubtedly the star of the show, it's important to remember that it's just one part of this iconic structure. The Elizabeth Tower houses several other bells, including the Great Bell, which chimes every 15 minutes, and the smaller bells, which are used to chime the quarter hours. These bells work in harmony to create the distinctive sound that we associate with Big Ben. The first alarm clock could only ring at 4 a.m. Imagine waking up every morning at exactly 4 a.m. whether you wanted to or not. That was the case for anyone who owned the first ever alarm clock invented by Levi Hutchings in 1787. The alarm clock was a groundbreaking invention that allowed people to wake up at a specific time by ringing a bell. However, it had one major drawback. The alarm could only be set to ring at 4 a.m. This may seem trivial by today's standards, but for those living in a time before alarm clocks, it was revolutionary. For Hutchins, the 4 a.m. alarm time was practical, since that's when he needed to wake up for his job. But for everyone else, it was a rude awakening. Despite its limitations, the alarm clock was a major step forward in the world of timekeeping and would eventually lead to the more advanced alarm clocks we use today. Some clocks use water or sand to measure time. As we continue our exploration of fascinating timekeeping methods, let's turn our attention to two ancient techniques used by our ancestors to keep track of time: water clocks and hourglasses. Water clocks were invented as early as 1500 BC in Egypt and were used throughout the ancient world. They consisted of a container filled with water that would flow out through a small opening at a steady rate. The amount of water remaining in the container would then be used to determine the time. Hourglasses, on the other hand, were invented in the 7th century in Egypt and were used extensively throughout the Islamic world. They consisted of a glass container filled with sand that would flow from the top to the bottom over a period of 1 hour. Both water clocks and hourglasses were used not only to keep time, but also to regulate daily activities and maintain order. While these methods are no longer used for practical timekeeping purposes, they remain popular as decorative items in modern homes and offices. Clocks on smartphones sync with atomic time automatically. Most of us rely on our smartphones to tell the time every day, but few realize that these tiny devices contain highly accurate clocks that sync with atomic time. When you set the time on your phone, it connects to an internet time server which receives signals from atomic clocks. These servers distribute the precise time to your phone, ensuring that your clock is accurate down to the millisecond. In contrast, many wall clocks and even some high-end watches only sync with atomic time under ideal conditions, and a typical wristwatch might lose or gain several seconds each month. This means that the time on your phone is significantly more accurate than on most other clocks. So the next time you check your phone for the time, take a moment to appreciate the incredible technology that makes it possible. Clockwise movement comes from sundials. We often take for granted the little things in life, such as the direction that clocks move in. However, have you ever wondered why most clocks display numbers with the 12 at the top and the 6 at the bottom, moving in a clockwise direction? It turns out that this convention dates back to the ancient times, when sundials were used to tell the time. Since the Earth is tilted on its axis, the shadow cast by the sun moves in a counterclockwise direction on a typical sundial. This meant that the hour hand of a clock, which was based on the sundial, also moved in a counterclockwise direction. However, for reasons unknown, the Romans reversed the direction of the clock hands, making them move clockwise. This change in direction caused some confusion, especially for those who were used to following the counterclockwise movement of sundials. Despite the potential for errors, the clockwise movement of clocks became the norm and is still used today. A 10,000-year clock is being built inside a mountain. The Long Now Foundation is dedicated to fostering a long-term perspective in a world that often seems fixated on the immediate future. One of their most ambitious projects is the construction of a massive clock that's designed to tick for 10,000 years. The clock, which is being built inside a mountain in Texas, is made up of several interconnected systems, including a mechanical clock, an astronomical observatory, and a digital archive. The Foundation believes that the clock will serve as a reminder of the importance of long-term thinking and planning. The project has faced numerous challenges, including funding issues and technical difficulties. However, the Long Now Foundation remains committed to completing the clock, which they hope will be operational by the year 2024. Now it's time for you to make your voice heard. Which fact surprised you the most? Did you learn something new? Let us know in the comments below. Also, don't forget to leave a like for more interesting videos. And that's a wrap on another amazing journey through time. Thank you for joining us as we explore the fascinating world of clocks and timekeeping. We've uncovered some incredible facts that I'm sure you won't forget anytime soon. Remember to stay tuned for more thrilling adventures, and we'll catch you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. Until then, keep an eye on the clock.